Hey guys, welcome to the second part of my cards collection. In this video, I'm going to focus on cards that I've had for at least 6 months, going up to 10 years plus, that I've used throughout the X amount of years that are still with me. If there is any particular card that you see you would like a close-up to, just a dedicated video on just that particular card, leave a comment for me below and I'll get that done for you. Okay, so let's take a look at our first deck collection. These are tarots. For the exception of the erotic fantasy, which I've had for only, I think, 6 months plus. All of the others I've had for over a year, up to 10 years for some of them. Okay, so first up, we have the Golden Art Nouveau. Stunning cards overall. It does has its own pouch, which you don't get, that you have to get separately, but it's something that I highly recommend. Excellent quality, and then it kind of like matches the overall theme of the cards as well. You do get this little guidebook that comes with it, which is fairly minimal, so it's pretty much kind of useless, so maybe not the best of decks to start with as a beginner, but still one I'm sure you will love if you do still decide to get it. This is what the back of the deck would look like. Now, the deck normally comes plain edged, but I've done mine in a way that kind of blends with the overall theme of this deck, which looks kind of fairly nice and goes with the whole sort of like gold. Now, this deck is visually stunning. The style artwork is absolutely gorgeous, very sort of like detailed imagery. There's this kind of gold folded in certain areas of the imagery that gives it this true luxurious touch. It's based on the traditional RWS, so it has that classical style and follows the original symbolism. Overall, it's like clear details and expression of characters are, stunning in this deck. Great quality cards, even if they are on the thin side, but it's one that I love overall, and it's one of my favorites. Next up is the erotic fantasy tarot. Now, I've had this for more than 6 months, I think. Part of the other, it's part of my other erotic deck sort of like collection. So this is what the back of the cards look like in terms of artwork, which is very clear than most of the cards. I love the different story, different sort of like perspective it shows. Very clear scenes and easy symbolism overall. I love how different it is. The deck is based on the traditional tarot symbols, but adds its unique erotic theme, a world of magic, a lot of passion, playful energy in it. As you would expect, there is a lot of adult imagery in them. However, I love how the card still keeps it original, so characters and the image is easy to read into. I overall I love how different it is, and it's another different perspective. They are on the thin side, but overall they're still great cards to have. Next, we have the Sasarabito deck, the Wanderer deck. It's very unique in its own way and has helped me to understand a lot of truths about myself. The imagery is very clear and it's really focused more on a person's character. I think they make great shadow card work along with everything else combined. The stock quality is fantastic, it really is. It's also diverse and inclusive. There are certain parts in the deck where you can see the Rider-Waite inspiration, but overall it keeps itself different, which I like about it. It's a lot more interesting. You do notice there's a lot of emphasis or focus on a character rather than what's going on in the background of the deck. So a lot of it gives you that full central sort of focus. The overall booklet is pretty good. It's quite fairly simple. It gives you the necessary information to kind of like understand the cards. The Meriel Toro, very unique and magnificent deck. The painting quality is wow. It's another world altogether. The details you see that really draws you deep into it and in yourself is absolutely amazing. It's oil painted. It's absolutely stunning. There's a lot of kind of symbolism within the artwork, a lot of sort of deep energy, soul work. The cards are very vibrant. It all looks like an art gallery overall. There's a lot of nudity in them, and it's quite fairly, I don't know, it's very bold, very fierce in other places. These cards pretty much don't mess around, very accurate, straight to the heart of things. Imagine it as someone who tells you it straight, whether you like it or not. No holds bars. These are absolutely fantastic cards. It's got various different elements of the geometry, the classical style towards it. So there's various different forms of sort of like symbolisms. The overall booklet is fantastic as well, fully colored. It gives you plenty of information on each particular card. Gateway to the Divine Tarot. Gosh, this deck has been with me for over 10 years through thick and thin and the various different journeys that I've had. It's been one hell of a guide for sure, and one I don't intend to depart from. Not my very first deck, that has to be Aleister Crowley deck or a Merlin Tarot. Unfortunately, due to certain circumstances, these are no longer with me. This deck is based on the traditional Rider-Waite, but with a few futuristic theme to them. Stunning sets of cards, great quality, image of various civilization before our time with various messages of legacy left behind. Vibrant in every way. There's a lot of traditional symbolism. You've got your standard suits, reversible, friendly. It's everything is simple and familiar overall, great for both beginners and advanced users. It also incorporates astrology in them, the elements. It's pretty much has it all. And the booklet, as you could see here, it has plenty of information. It goes into a lot of depth about what's going on in the background, the story, the general meaning, keywords, the reversal. It gives you sort of like advice, the gifts of the card. So there's a heck of a lot. It goes in depth in the general description. So this card, like I said, it's great for any beginners and advanced users. Absolutely fantastic deck to literally have. I love it. Now our next sets are our old Oracle decks. These cards make one great card readers, very direct and simple in every way. First one we have is the Mystical Wisdom, very large, vibrant, beautiful artwork. It's a mix of nature elements, fairies, angels, animals, a lot of positive message from these cards. Again, great for those single questions. The cards do mainly have woman in them. It's very dreamy, like fantasy element overall. Like I said, you have unicorns, dragon, mermaids, and more. Beautiful illustrations, very artistic, and very colorful decks. Yes, the cards do look pretty, but it's a lot more than that. It has great, and there's great energy to them. They're very accurate, direct, simple meanings overall. Tends to address the issues or questions you have. Provides great advice, always pushing you to improve yourself. And again, wise guidance. They're more than just pretty cards. They are very useful. Like I said, great one reading card. The booklet that you get, again, it's quite fairly straightforward. Pictures are in black and white, but it gives you the general meaning of those cards. The next we have Angels of Abundance. Again, similar sort of like theme in terms of how pictures are illustrated. It looks kind of like familiar to the last one, but these cards, again, one card readers, very simple, very direct, but this one is purely focused around your abundance, your financial matters, you know, the blockages that you may have, the direction to take. Provides a lot of positive messages. The image looks absolutely fantastic. Card quality is brilliant. Great advice. A lot of sort of like guidance been provided. And again, similar to the last one where you get sort of like basic, simple understanding of the cards. We have the Oracle of the Fairies. Again, these oracles tend to have the similar sort of like general messages and themes. If you work with Oracle, you pretty much know what I mean. Image is fantastic. These cards are diverse. There's not a lot of men in it, a few images of there, but it's kind of like mixes everything up. So overall, the quality is stunning. The image is absolutely fantastic. The messages are right there in front of the card. They're clear, they're direct, they provide the necessary guidance that you need. Again, it's more than just the pretty pictures. You can read as much as you can from them, but positive energy, direct actions to take. It's a very, very nice card. And again, in the book, gives you all the necessary information that you need to gain that further understanding. We have the angel therapy cards. Oh my gosh, again, this is one of those very old ones that I've had for more than 8 years. The other first few, I've had it for more than 2 years or so, but this one is very old. Um, Incorporates very different sort of like energies and elements of fairies, angels. It's all about healing, and this card literally has been with me for years because it's provided that sort of guidance in terms of how to heal myself, going through the various different stages of various things and circumstances, clear, direct guidance, a lot of work in terms of the angels that you work with. It provides affirmations, advice to in terms of working with the various different crystals, different sort of like beings and entities. Fantastic card. It's one that's going to be with me forever. Now, if you love those type of cards, one card that I would recommend looking into in the Toro form would be the Angels of Toro. Again, I don't know. I wouldn't use these as specifically as a Toro deck. It's more Oracle slash trying to be. It's half half. It's brilliant imagery. It's got great meanings right there in front of the cards. It were sort of like symbolism is sort of like different. It tries to incorporate a few of it. I guess the suits are similar, but everything else it's kind of has its own unique sort of angelic elements inside of it. It's a different perspective, but again, it's one of those that's quite fairly easy to work with and use. These two, I love them so much. My number one personally for shamanic work or ancestry, the best even today, I personally think. We have the Native Spirit, best shaman journey cards, I personally believe. Great image, but what is great about this deck is how it covers so much. Yes, it's not every image is native Indian like the Stonehenge, but it's all about the universal connection of power places, the deeper connection to the mysteries and natural forces, the different realms, tools, beings, the connection, the journey, the spirits, and more. Overall, I think they're great for your own sort of discovery and opening your spiritual world. Fantastic imagery, or overall. The book is quite fairly simple. It gives you the necessary meaning that you need. You get the card meaning, you get the native spirit sort of like message to yourself, and then you kind of like go on to understand what the journey incorporates. Angels and ancestors, similar but from another perspective. It's about various tribes, natives, Celtic, Aboriginal, and more with the angelic guidance from each of those cultures that has helped us all. The cards are beautiful and very easy to work with and understand. They're accurate and great to use intuitively. At the end of the day, these are the cards to get if you want to connect to your ancestors and ancient wisdom, exploring all of that. It's absolutely recommended and fantastic. Again, very similar to the last one, very simple message, understanding of the particular card, the general extended meaning, going in depth about the message that you're getting. So it's a highly recommended deck to get. Next is my favorite light worker deck, Starseed and Work in Your Light. Beautiful and very accurate, deeply connects you with the cosmos in every way. Very familiar both and makes great companion to unlock your soul's gift and abilities or awaken and walks you through the journey and understanding about yourself beyond this third dimensional world. It's been a massive part of my discovering who I truly am and not feeling like belonging in this realm, but yet learning how to live and manage it, but at the same time connecting to your true home in the universe. Fantastic decks. Now, one that I've used, I've had this one, the Ascension cards for, gosh, I think over 6 years or so. These, before those two, was like the card that I always would use, or my go-to in terms of trying to gain a better understanding of the universe and the various different realms. Absolutely fantastic cards. Now you get plenty of insights using these cards. The book pretty much won't have the meanings of these cards. This is why in the center of the cards you pretty much have all the meaning that you need, and then you've got these nice affirmation below. So again, very insightful cards, great to do with working with the light. It's one that I've had for many years. So I'm going to end the video here. I don't want it to be too long, but I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen. If there is any particular deck that you've seen today in this video that you would like me to do a dedicated video for on that deck, just leave a comment down below and I'll get that done for you. I still can't have quite a number of other cards as well, spread cards, spell cards, chakras, crystals. There's quite a few, so I'm going to do a part 3 of the collections of my decks. A few others I've already done which I've not included separately, so there are videos on my channel on those particular decks, so check that out. Love and light to all of you, and I wish you all well.